us by name, and he washes away all our sins, so we bow and surrender to our good shepherd. We are all lost sometimes, we've all failed to find joy that is found in Yeshua. But he will come after to where you wander. He will call you back to him and give you peace. Oh, he'll give you peace, for he's our good shepherd, for he looks after all the broken and bruised, all the lost and confused. And he calls us by name, and he washes away all our sins, so we bow and surrender to our good shepherd. Oh, he's our good shepherd. Oh, we may lose a few of those we love and knew, and our hearts may be broken, but he is still working, and this life is a journey, and in the midst of our hurting, he is giving us his love and his mercy. Oh, he's giving us mercy, for he's our good shepherd, for he looks after all the broken and bruised, all the lost and confused. And he calls us by name, and he washes away all our sins, so we bow and surrender to our good shepherd. Oh, he's our good shepherd. Oh, he keeps to his sheep, and he tends to the weak. He leaves the 99 to seek the one who's hard to find. And he calls us his chosen, and he blesses the broken by giving us his grace. Now we follow his ways. He keeps to his sheep, and he tends to the weak. Oh, he leaves the 99 to seek the one who's hard to find. And he calls us his chosen, and he blesses the broken by giving us his grace. Now we follow his way. Oh, he's our good shepherd, for he looks after all the broken and bruised, all the lost and confused. And he calls us by name, and he washes away all our sins, so we bow and surrender to our good shepherd. He's our good shepherd. For he's our good shepherd, for he looks after all the broken So we bow and surrender to our good shepherd.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us this week as we continue to upload the videos that were posted by Juan Carlos on his channel to the nations. These videos were not uploaded to Rob's YouTube channel, so that is what we are doing now on a weekly basis at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Did you know that Rob made a place for all the people that are part of the VHC family to be able to congregate? If you are watching this video, that means you as well are invited. So join us there on a 24/7 basis. Some of us will be gathering there for fellowship after this video is done playing. We also have 2 weekly scheduled studies there as well. Rob made it for the VHC family to be able to gather, have discussions, study, and fellowship. Are you the black sheep? Come join the herd. What are you waiting for? Join us today. You can find the invite link in the description part of this video, or Mod should be sharing the link in the live YouTube chat right now.
And Shabbat Shalom, and welcome back to the Virtual House Church. It's a new Shabbat, it's a new week here in Virtual House Church. And as I've been telling you week by week, it's a blessing to be here in this new broadcast, in this new week, in this new Shabbat. For all of us that we have a desire in our heart to study the word of Yahuwah, especially in these last days that is more needed than ever to go into the word of Yahuwah in order to understand his truth. Because, by understanding the word of Yahuwah is the only way that we are going to be able to understand how to navigate the days and any situation, every situation we are going through. We were discussing this entire week with our home, with the family, and so on. And especially today, that days are very weird lately. It's like there's something in the air, to say so. I most probably you feel it as well in the same way that I do here at home as well. Is that something is not right, that there are so much hopelessness in every part of the world, and anxiety and sadness, and I think and also violence, that we see everybody and all the people in every place with these feelings and these emotions, that with people without knowing what to do and where to go. And we are not far from that situation, because no matter that we understand and we have been called out of the world, we're still here. We are in the middle of all this stress and this stressful situation, that as we were discussing and sharing a few weeks ago, is quite normal that some days or some weeks we are not with all our feelings and with all our joy and with all our shalom inside us, and we are going through the other direction with this sense of losing heart, with the sense of hopelessness, with the sense of sadness, with the anxiety and the stress in our minds. And if you're going through those situations, we need to look into this with the spiritual eyes. And I know it's not easy. Believe me, I'm going through same situations as well as I'm describing, because we see everything that's going on in the world, and that we see sin spreading so much in every side of where we are around us. So by looking into this situation with our spiritual eyes, is the only way that we are going to be able to get out of those scenarios and those feelings and to seek the face of Yahuwah in order to have the restoration of our shalom, have the restoration of our hope. And understanding that, that this is a spiritual war, and understanding that we need to look with the spiritual eyes is when we are going to understand what's going on and what needs to be our attitude and what we need to do. And I wanted to start over the virtual house church with that because today we have this heaviness, the here at home, my wife and I, this heaviness of spirit that with not with all the strength to be in this Shabbat, not with the full shalom as we always have in every Shabbat. And I was telling here to my wife is that exactly the same phrase that I started over is that there is something on the air. And it sounds interesting, but it's also truth. It is something on the air. And that's something that we have been awakened to the truth of the word of Yahuwah. We know what is that something. And, I want to share with you a few passages and on the scriptures that is going to speak alone about what's going on and about what needs to be our attitude. So I want to start over, and we're starting differently Virtual House Church because this is what I felt, and I think it's important to touch base on this thing because, we are living in this world. We are still in this flesh. We are still in the system of the world. We are still in Babylon. And we are waiting for the time that Mashiach will come, and that time will be soon, in order to set us free of this system, in order to set us free of Babylon, and in order to establish the kingdom of Yahuwah, to the kingdom where we belong. So it is totally normal to go through these situations and this heaviness. And if you are feeling that heaviness, just understand that you are not alone. This is going to every person and every people of this earth. And before reading these passages, I do believe that this has a important reason that if we look at it with a different angle, and if we feel this heaviness, and if we feel this sense of hopelessness, and if we feel this stress or sadness or anxiety, is a way for us to remember that we cannot do it alone. That every time that we try to move ahead and to live this life alone, we're going to fail miserably. It's a way, it's a witness for us to understand that we need Mashiach. That through Mashiach, we have salvation. That through Mashiach is the only way back to the Father. That through Yahushua Mashiach is the way that we are going to be fully restored. That through Mashiach, we will be part of the kingdom of Yahuwah. So, it's like when we are in pain, because we did a lot of exercise, and here they are always telling me because of a lot of work we are doing in a house that we are building in the south of my country. Is if we feel pain to the other day after we do a lot of physical work, it's a way to understand that we are alive. It's a way to understand and to give thanks to Yahuwah because He's given us life. So if we're going through these feelings and these emotions, it's a witness for us to realize and also to acknowledge that we need Mashiach on us. We need Mashiach in us in order to live this life, in order to walk according to His steps and to follow Him in order to be part of the kingdom of Yahuwah. So, something is on the air. And let's go and let's read. I'm going to read to you the chapter 10 of the book of Joelim. This is the book of Jubilees. And, it says the following. And in the third week of this Yovel, the unclean demons began to lead astray the children of sons of Noah, and to mislead and destroy them. And the sons of Noah came to Noah their father, and they informed him concerning the demons which were leading astray and blinding and slaying his sons. And he prayed before Yahuwah his Elohim and said, Elohim of the spirits of all flesh, who has shown kindness to me, and has saved my sons and I from the waters of the flood, and has not caused me to perish, as you did the sons of destruction. For your favor has been great towards me, and your kindness has been great to my being. Let your favor be lifted upon my sons, and let not wicked spirits rule over them, lest they should destroy them from the earth. But may you barach my sons, bless my sons, and I, that we may increase and multiply and fill the earth. And you know how your watchers, the fathers of these spirits, act in my day. And as for these spirits which are living, imprison them and hold them fast in the place of condemnation, and let them not bring destruction on the sons of your servant, my Elohim. For these are evil and created in order to destroy. So, when we were discussing here a few hours ago about the heaviness that we were feeling, and then this statement came that there is something on the earth, I immediately remember what was going on with the sons of Noah after the flood, about exactly what is written here in the book of Jubilees. The unclean spirits, the demons, were doing something at that time, and they were leading people in order to destroy them. And the only way out, and this is exactly what needs to be our attitude, and we, the children of light, we need to understand in the same way the sons of Noah understood back then, that everything that they were going on, were happening in their time, was the work of the unclean spirits. What they did, they acknowledged and they understood that, and they came to their father. With what purpose? To seek the face of Yahuwah. And what Noah did, as we just read, Noah seek the face of Yahuwah, and he asked Yahuwah to help them, to save them from that situation. And this is exactly what Yahuwah did back then. And if we go to the book of Hanoch, this is the book of Enoch, just understand, what's the nature of this unclean spirit, and we know what's the origin. We just read this. We go to the chapter 15 of the book of Hanoch, Enoch, and we are going to read from the verse 8 to the verse 11. And it says the following. And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from men and from the Kodesh watchers, is their beginning and primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on the earth, and evil spirits shall they be called. As for the spirits of the Shemaim, in the Shemaim shall be their dwelling. But as for the spirits of the earth, which were born upon the earth, on the earth shall be their dwelling. And the spirits of the giants, and put attention on this, and the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth, and cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst, and cause offenses. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men, and against the women, because they have proceeded from them. That's the nature of the unclean spirits. This is what they did when they had a body before the flood. And this is what they are doing, not that they don't have a body. They are just spirit. So, and we know because Shaul spoke about it, is that we are not wrestling against flesh and blood. We are doing it with the principalities that is on the earth. So all these unclean spirits are those are the ones on the earth. That's the something on the earth that is causing all these emotions and all these feelings. And we that we have been saved by the offering of Yahushua HaMashiach on the tree, we know that we are part of a totally different kingdom. And no matter that, because of the weakness of our bodies and our flesh, sometimes we go through days of heaviness, days of sadness, days of hopelessness. The Ruach HaKodesh, the Ruach of Yahuwah, is remembering here in our heart and in our mind that we are children of Elohim, that those unclean spirits has nothing to do with us, that the only way in order to recover our shalom, in order to recover our hope, is seeking the face of Yahuwah. And in the same way that Yahushua HaMashiach was casting out demons by the power of Elohim, he is going to do it for us as well. And he has given us the power through the Ruach HaKodesh in order to do so as well. So let's understand the times that we are living. Let's understand that we have decided for one side of this battle, and we have decided for the side of light against the side of darkness. And no matter the darkness is spreading out with an unbelievable speed in these days, we need to understand that light will overcome at the end. And we have decided to be children of light, and the Ruach is with us. So if you are going through those situations, if you are feeling the heaviness as we were feeling it today morning, first we understand the source of that. And second, we understand that we have a tower, a powerful tower beside us. That's Yahushua HaMashiach. And third, that we are not part of this world. We are not part of darkness. We are part of the kingdom of light. Is the kingdom of Yahuwah. So, just to complete this thought, and I wanted to share with you because I know it's not easy. I was looking into some videos on what's going on in Europe, in Australia. What's going on in my country as well. It's not easy. The level of discussion that's happening in terms of what's they are pushing to the people and what's coming very soon. It can make us lose heart. But if we're going through those situations, we understand that every time that we are losing heart and feeling that sense of hopelessness, it's because we are looking with our physical eyes. And in one moment, the Ruach will touch the door of your heart and will tell you, look with your spiritual eyes. And when you hear that voice, you need to switch immediately. And that's the only way that you are going to go back to your center and to look into the north, following the steps of Mashiach. And, I remember when we were discussing this and looking for some passages, something that happened to a very powerful servant of Yahuwah. And I want to share it with you because, and I'm gonna put the scripture here on the screen, because I don't feel, and I most probably you don't feel either, with the same level of strength and than this servant of Yahuwah. And what's the servant that I'm referring to? I'm referring to Eliyahu. This is Elijah. He was a very powerful prophet of Yahuwah. And even though that he was powerfully used by Yahuwah in his time, he went through difficulties. He also felt this sense of fear, sense of hopelessness, and so on. Even though that he was so close to Yahuwah, he was in the flesh. his emotions were playing against him sometimes. And the passage that I remember that I want to share with you is exactly showing us this situation. So if you remember when he was in this in the Har Carmel, this is the Mount Carmel, with the 400 prophets of Baal, and this amazing story when the fire came down from the heaven in order to demonstrate to the people that Yahuwah was Elohim. After that, this is the story that we can read in the first king. This is Melachim Aleph, chapter 19. This is exactly, when we see Eliyahu, going through these feelings and through these emotions. So I want us to read it together. If you have the written scripture, take it, read it along with me. We are going to read from the verse 1 to the verse 18. And it says the following. And let me make the just much bigger. Yeah, much better. So it says the following. And when Ahab reported to Isabel all that Eliyahu had done, also how he slew all the prophets with the sword, Isabel sent a messenger to Eliyahu, saying, So let the mighty ones do to me, and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. She was threatening his life. What would you do if you receive this kind of threat that somebody wants to take out your life? Most probably you are going to do exactly the same. We are going to do exactly the same as Eliyahu did in this passage. So let's continue reading, because the end of this passage is so wonderful, and just to give us hope on the times that we are living. So let's continue reading the verse 3. And it says, And Eliyahu feared, and rose up and ran for his life, and went to Beersheba, which belongs to Yehudah, and left his servant there. So normal behavior, seeing everything with our physical eyes, full of fear, he just decided to run. In the same way, that somehow, in an opposite way somehow, but it has a relation with Jonah, when he decided to run because he didn't want to do something to follow the words of Yahuwah. He decided to run and to do his own will. In this case, Eliyahu was the connection. Eliyahu decided to do something by his own will, not consulting with Yahuwah, because he was full of fear. And no matter that, the day before, he saw this amazing miracle of Yahuwah when the fire came down from heaven and burned the offering, and they were killing all these prophets of Baal because they didn't want to follow the word of Yahuwah. And after all this showtime and showdown of Yahuwah, he was full of fear. This is exactly what can happen to us in these days. So let's continue reading to see what happened. But he himself, in the verse 4, went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under a broom tree, and prayed that he might die. You can see how bad he was feeling. He prayed to Yahuwah in order to die, and said, It is enough. Now, Yahuwah, take my life, for I am no better than my fathers. This is a picture of a person that is going and looking into all the problems that are going around him, and looking with the physical eyes. And this is exactly what's happening to us in these days. We look around and we see problem after problem. I have been in contact with a few people in the last few weeks, and without an exception, everybody's going through difficulties, any type of difficulties, diseases, emotional problems, people without job, people heartbroken, many things going on. And it's exactly, problems after problem, darkness after darkness. around us, something on the earth, and we know the source, is the unclean spirit working their distractions, working, this oppression. This is what they like to do. So we see here Eliyahu exactly in the same situation with what we are now, and asking Yahuwah to take his life. And it says in the verse 5, and he laid and slept under a broom tree, and see, a messenger touched him and said to him, rise, eat. And he looked and saw by his head a cake baked on coals and a jar of water. So he ate and drank and turned and lay down. And the messenger of Yahuwah came back the second time and touched him and said, rise, eat, for the journey is too much for you. Can you see the faithfulness of Yahuwah? Even that he was asking for his life to be terminated, Yahuwah was sustaining him even in these times of troubles, providing water, providing food. And even at this point, Yahuwah was not even telling him not to go. He was letting him go and run away. Because, I think it's a process that we need to go through in order to recover our shalom. And Yahuwah is going to be beside us, understanding what's the right time in order to restore us completely. So let's continue. Verse 8. And he rose up and ate and drank, and he went in the strength of that food 40 days and 40 nights, as far as Horeb, the mountain of Elohim. And there he went into a cave and spent the night there. And see, the word of Yahuwah came to him and said to him, what are you doing here, Eliyahu? Yahuwah is asking us as well, what are you doing now, my children? What are you doing with those feelings? What are you doing with those emotions? What are you doing in order to restore your shalom, in order to fulfill your purpose? And he said, it said here, Eliyahu, and he said, I have been very jealous for Yahuwah Elohim Sebaot, for the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant. They have thrown down your slaughtered places, and they have killed your prophets with the sword. And I am left, I alone, and they seek my life to take it. So he was expressing to Yahuwah in this, talking to Yahuwah. He was showing to Yahuwah through his words what was in his heart, how he was feeling. And this is a beautiful and a perfect example of what we need to do. We need to speak up. We need to talk to Yahuwah. We need to tell him what we are feeling, what we are going through. And I think we talked about this last week in the portion we were discussing, is that we need to talk to Yahuwah. He's expecting from us to tell him what we need and what is in our heart. And especially when we are going through difficulties, especially with those feelings and those emotions that are putting this heaviness, and no matter, and especially, when we see this on the earth and impacting everyone else, we need to take refuge in him. And what does it mean? Is that we need to seek his face. We need to talk to him, to express what is in our heart. We need to take it out from inside us by telling Yahuwah what we're feeling. And that's the only way that he's going to restore us. And we will see it because this is the way that he restored Eliyahu. So let's continue reading. Verse 11. And he said, go out and stand on the mountain before Yahuwah. And see, Yahuwah passed by, and a great and strong wind tearing the mountains and breaking the rocks in pieces before Yahuwah. But Yahuwah was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. Yahuwah was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, fire. Yahuwah was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice. There are many things going on in the world today. And we can be in so much confusion about where is Yahuwah, how we can get closer to Yahuwah. We see here, Yahuwah giving the instruction to Eliyahu to go out of the cave and wait for Yahuwah. in order to be closer to him. But Yahuwah, sent wind, fire, earthquake. Eliyahu, he has these amazing experiences in the past with Yahuwah sending fire from heaven. He would think that, okay, Yahuwah is on the fire. But he then came out of the cave because he felt that Yahuwah wasn't there. Yahuwah, and this is my interpretation, and I will share it with you. Yahuwah knew what was going on in the heart of Eliyahu. Yahuwah knew that Eliyahu was going through stress and he was in desperation. He was full of fear. So how Yahuwah was going to present himself with fire, with power, with the wind, with the earthquake? No, he knew that Eliyahu needed shalom. That's why he came with a still small voice. And Eliyahu heard it, it says in the verse 13. And it came to be when Eliyahu heard it, that he wrapped his face in his robe and went out and stood at the cave opening. And see, a voice came to him and said, "What are you doing here, Eliyahu?" And again, he was expressing what was in his heart. And he said, "I have been very jealous for Yahuwah Elohim Sabaoth, for the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant. They have thrown down your slaughter places with the sword, and I am left, I alone, and they seek my life to take it." And Yahuwah said to him, after this opening his heart, after understanding that Yahuwah was with him in this still small voice, he opened his heart, and Yahuwah listened to him. And he gave him an instruction, saying the following, and Yahuwah said to him, "Go, return on your way to the wilderness of Damascus, and you shall go in and anoint Hazael as sovereign over Aram, and anoint Jehu, son of Nimshi, as sovereign over Israel, and anoint Elisha, son of Shaphat, of Abel Meholah, as prophet in your place. And it shall be that whoever escapes the sword of Hazael, Jehu does kill, and whoever escapes from the sword of Jehu, Elisha does kill. And I shall leave 7,000 in Israel, all whose knees have not bowed to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him." He was comforting Eliyahu, giving him the next instruction: go, return. This is what you need to do for me. And beside that, I will keep a remnant that will be faithful to me. And this speaks a lot on what we need to do. What we need to say to Yahuwah in these times is exactly what Eliyahu was saying to him. Yahuwah, I have been very jealous for you. For all the world have forsaken you. They have thrown down your covenant and your Torah and your kingdom. They have killed your servants with the sword. We are left and we are alone, and they seek our life to take it. Help us, Yahuwah. Give us shalom. We need to open our heart to Yahuwah. If we do it in this way, He will protect us in the same way that He protected Eliyahu. And at the end, turned to be a tremendous blessing because Yahuwah took action through His servant. Elisha came into the picture, this amazing prophet as well. And how everything started. It was from this feeling of fear of Eliyahu, this powerful prophet of Yahuwah, that he ran away from his life, for his life. But Yahuwah was comforting him and using him once again. This needs to be our attitude, in these times. Understanding that we are wrestling against these powers on the earth, but we have the finger of Elohim, and we have the son of Elohim in our side in order to fight this battle, in order to understand that Yahuwah is with us. And when we're feeling and going through these days of difficulties, let's just bow down to Yahuwah Let's open our heart to Him. Let's talk to Him, you know, with words that we and He can hear. And you know, this is something that you will feel it in your heart, that this heavy weight that is in your heart and in your back somehow is going to be lifted up, and you are going to record your shalom. And every time that you are going through the difficulties, and you know, in the challenges that are coming ahead, this is the way we need to act. Understanding that no matter that we see things happen in the physical world, there is a spiritual origin. The spiritual origin, the only way that we can fight against that is with the word of Yahuwah, our real sword. So just wanted to start differently today. I was feeling this, and I hope that this is speaking to your heart as well. So, you know, before continuing, just to remind everybody here, I see 108 of you connected. Thank you so much to be with me here, to be with us here. You know, Virtual House Church is an amazing and so powerful project started by our beloved brother Rob Skiva. And you know, if you are new here, I want to invite you to go to the Virtual House Church website. This is the virtualhousechurch.com site, and you will find amazing information here that has been collected throughout many years. This is information that, you know, with the all intention to, as is written at the top of the site, to go back to the basic of the word of Yahuwah. You know, week by week, we are studying a portion of the word of Yahuwah. You know, the normal cycle is going through the book of Genesis, through the book of Deuteronomy, that he has been split in different weeks throughout the year, that in order to study as using the baseline of Torah, but studying the entire word of Yahuwah in order to make sense and in order to understand the word of Yahuwah. You know, in one of the previous weeks when we were in one of the cycle, we were reading in the book of Nehemiah, how the Levites were explaining to the people and make them to understand Torah. And this is exactly the purpose of Virtual House Church. This is what we have been doing throughout the years, being led by Rob Skiva, now in this channel. Is just to go back to the basic, just to understand altogether what's the meaning of the word of Yahuwah. And as I said, this is for our own understanding, in order to be prepared for what is our purpose as the children of Yahuwah, the children of Elohim, and in order to understand the times and the seasons, in order to understand, you know, what it means to be part of the kingdom of Yahuwah. So I will invite you to go in and browse all this information over here. You know, Virtual House Church is a project that started, I think it's written over here, back on 2012 by the brothers Rob and Chile Skiva. And you know, you will find a lot of information. If you go to any of the cycles over here, you will see that, you know, in this particular one, you will see all the references of Torah, the prophets, and the New Testament, the Brit Hadashah, and the archives of previous broadcasts starting in 2012, going to the 2020 and 2021. So, and not only that, there's multiple information about the nature of our Mashiach, also what it means to coming out of Babylon, and a lot of studies that is important to go in and share with others. So if you are not new, and I have been telling you, the least you can do is to share the truth and the light of Yahuwah. And one way to do it is to share this site, Virtual House Church, and also to share and to invite people to join us week by week in this Virtual House Church study that has been a blessing to me, as well as all of us that we are joining week by week. So, you know, I haven't heard about Jake this week. I don't know if he's going to be able to join us. But, you know, after the broadcast of last week, I got an email from him. And, you know, and thanks to all of you that were sharing some things in the chat. I was aware about the situation of the tornadoes happening in the US. I wasn't aware until I saw the messages here in the chat, and I was taking a look in the news after Shabbat last week. And the good thing is that Jake sent me an email later that day during my night, telling me that unfortunately he was with a power outage due to the tornado situation. And what he wrote to me is that the tornado passed 1 mile far from his house, from his home. And thanks to Yahuwah is that nothing happened to him and to his family. So he unfortunately he was without power. That's why he wasn't able to join us last week, and most probably today is still going through some recovery situation on the place that he was, because I was saying the news and the situation is not easy, and it's important. We need to keep everybody in our prayers. What's happening with creation, what's happening on the earth, what's happening with the sky, with the signs on heaven, is just to tell us that and to give us an additional evidence on the times that we are living. And we have our family, our mishpacha in Yahuwah all over the world. And the storms that are happening everywhere, earthquakes, volcanoes. I was taking a look in the news that in Siberia there was a high temperature that like never before. And this is exactly as it is written, that the earth is crying out for the manifestation of the children of Elohim. Those are the birth pains that we are seeing in these last days. So this is one of the reasons that we need to keep everybody in our prayers. As I told you a few minutes ago, I do believe that all of us are going through some kind of tribulation. All of us are going through some kind of difficulties. And that's why we need to hold fast and cling to Yahuwah with all our strength more than ever, because that's the only way that we are going to be able to escape all things that are coming to the earth. That's the only way that we are going to be able to stand before Yahuwah Eloheinu in the throne of Yahushua HaMashiach. So, keep in mind, your brothers and sisters around the world, we don't know everybody, but we know that through the Ruach HaKodesh, we are Echad. So this is the time to pray for everybody else. This is the time to pray for the salvation and protection. This is the time to pray for the boldness of spirit in order to speak up the truth of Yahuwah. And don't misread my words, because it's very easy to misunderstand that speak up the truth of Yahuwah means to take part of the system of the world. And this is exactly not what I'm trying to say. I have been sharing with you in the past that I do believe that we see something going on in the world, and we see two groups of people in every kind of situation, in politics, in the health issues, in socially speaking, and so on. And we cannot take part in any of the groups, no matter that in one of the group maybe is more related to what we feel and what we believe. No, because if we do that, and I'm sharing what's my thought, and then just to explain myself even better, we cannot take part of any of the groups, because if we do that, we are following the current of the system of the world. We need to understand, and we need to acknowledge, and we need to have written in our heart that we belong to just one system. And that system is the system of the kingdom of heaven, being led by the righteous King, Yahushua HaMashiach. So we need to understand everything that's going on in the world, but look at it, observing what's happening, in order to understand the written word of Yahuwah, how the word of Yahuwah has been fulfilled, in order to understand the time and the seasons. So, when I'm telling you that we need to pray in order to be bold to speak the truth, what I'm talking is that every time that we have the chance to bring the light of Yahuwah to others, that time is when we need to speak boldly about the truth of Yahuwah. I was reading after the show last week, the broadcast last week, few testimony of some of you that are here with me in this virtual house church, how you have the chance to speak boldly about what is in your heart. And this is just to pray Yahuwah that, every time that we have this chance, is the Ruach HaKodesh the one that's going to be with us and put the words in our lips in order to be real witnesses of His word. This is exactly the time and the prayer we need to have for Yahuwah in order to give us that boldness, in order to speak His truth. So, brothers and sisters, we have not speak anything about the portion today, but we have been talking about very important matters that are happening today. And I have been telling you always, if I'm feeling something in my heart to speak up, I will go ahead because of something, not because of only it's going through me and because it's a message first to me, like always, but it's also because I know that some of you are needing these messages as well. At least this is what the Ruach is writing here in my heart, in my mind. So, I think with the Spirit, I will invite you to close your eyes and to lift up your hands, and let's pray together before going to the portion. Yahuwah Eloheinu, Abba Tov, Abba Kadosh. We give all thanks to you in this moment, in this new Shabbat, because you are so good to us. No matter the difficulties, no matter the weak we are sometimes, you are so strong and you are beside us that you are sending us your Ruach in order to comfort our hearts. No matter that we fail, you are beside us in order to help us and to lift us up, raise us up. Allah, in these times of trouble and these times of difficulties is when we need you more. And we pray to you in this moment now with all our heart. We do it in Ruach and in truth. And we do it in the name of Yahushua Mashiach. Asking Abba that you can hear our voices. Because we cry out to you, to your name, Yahuwah Elohim. Asking to send us your shalom, to give us your strength, and to strengthen our conviction in your word. In the same way that we were reading about Eliyahu, we ask you, Abba, that you can use us in the same way. That no matter the fear, no matter the sadness, no matter that sometimes we're losing heart, that we can speak boldly to you what is in our hearts, and you can comfort us and strengthen us in order to fulfill the purpose for what you have been calling us. In these last days, because there is no doubt that we are going through the last days, we ask you more than ever that you can fill us with your Ruach HaKodesh in order to endure until the end, in order to be faithful servants of you, in order to bring the light into this world, in order to speak boldly about your truth. We ask you for those of your children going through difficulties. We ask you, Abba, that you can touch those that are going through diseases, that are sick, that you can heal them. We ask you, Abba, for those that are brokenhearted, that you can go with your Ruach, with your Shalom, and you can comfort them, and you can restore them. We ask you, Abba, for those that are going through any type of need. Those are the need of food or need of work or need of any income, that you can sustain them, because we acknowledge that everything that we have is yours, because you are the creator of everything. So we ask you in this moment that if any of your children is going through necessity, that you can sustain them, and you can provide to them, Also, we ask you for everything that's going around us. We believe in your word that no matter that we are living in this earth and in the system, we are not part of it because we are part of your kingdom. And in that faith, in that hope, we stand because we believe in you and we believe in your word and we believe in your promises. And for the same reason, we ask you, that no matter the difficulties that are going around us, no matter the persecution, no matter that some days and sometimes we are not feeling, strong enough. To the opposite, that maybe we are feeling weak, that we cannot continue. In those times, we ask you, Abba, that you can strengthen our faith, that you can give us of your hope in order to understand that we belong to you and we belong to your kingdom. That you can help us in order to put our sight and our eyes into the north, that is your kingdom, and to the truth that your Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, is coming back again. And he is coming in order to restore everything as you decided, you designed it, and you created at the very beginning. We long for that day when true shalom and true righteousness will be filling this earth. We long for the day that we will see the beautiful way that you created everything. We ask you that your presence and your Ruach be among us in this time, that you can guide us in the study of your word, that we can see your truth, open our eyes, open our understanding in order to understand and see what you want to teach us in this moment. Thank you, Abba, for being with us. We praise you, and we worship you with all our heart. And we lift up our voices with our heart, with our spirit, and in truth. And in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, our Melech. Amen. Whew. It's always good to pray. It's a moment of disconnection when you do it really with your heart. Close your eyes. It's like everything else around you disappear, and that you are just alone with him. Every time, especially now when I was praying, I totally forgot that I was in front of a camera, and I totally forgot that you were there. It was just a moment between me and him. This is the way we need to do it every time that we are going through difficulties, and not only those times, especially in those times, but not only in those times. It's the way that we need to do it always, is to create this relationship with Allah. But let's start. The portion today is going through the chapter 21 and 22, and it's not a long one. So let's read it all together, and let's see what I have to share with you and what the Ruach is leading us to see. So let's go to the book of Joshua, Yahushua in Hebrew, chapter 21. And we are going through the verse 1 to the end. And it's basically the entire 2 chapters. And it says the following. Let me put the scripture here on camera, and we're going to start. And it says the following. And the heads of the fathers of the Levites came near to Eleazar the priest, to Yahushua ben Nun, and to the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel. And they spoke to them at Shiloh, in the land of Canaan, saying, Yahuwah commanded through Moshe to give us cities to dwell in, with their open land for our livestock. And you remember, we were discussing and studying in Torah, and also in the portions here of Joshua, that the Levites didn't receive an inheritance of land. And the reason for that is because their inheritance was Yahuwah Elohim. And this is such an amazing blessing that we were comparing ourselves, that through Yahushua HaMashiach, we are also priests. We were studying, I think it was 2 weeks ago, about this amazing prophecy in the book of Ezekiel, how the inheritance and the place that the Levites and also the priests are going to live in the new distribution of the land is going to be close to the Melech. It's going to be in this portion that's going to be a contribution to Yahuwah from the children of from Israel in the middle of the land. So it's going to be such an amazing blessing that it is exactly what we see here happening. They didn't receive an inheritance, but they received a promise that they needed to receive cities in order to live and in order to raise their livestock. And those cities were going to be distributed among the inheritance of the children of Israel. And that was what Moshe, Yahuwah promised to them through Moshe. And this is exactly what they were claiming to Elazar and Yahushua ben Nun. So let's continue reading, because it's basically mentioning the different cities they received. It says the following: So the children of Israel gave to the Levites from their inheritance at the mouth of Yahuwah these cities under open land. And the lot came out for the clans of the Kehathites. Thank you, Abba. And the children of Aaron the priest, who were of the Levites, had 13 cities by lot from the tribe of Yehudah, from the tribe of Shimon, and from the tribe of Benjamin. And the rest of the children of Kehath had 10 cities by lot from the clans of the tribe of Ephraim, from the tribe of Dan, and from the half tribe of Menashe. And the children of Gershon had 13 cities by lot from the clans of the tribe of Yisachar, from the tribe of Asher, from the tribe of Naphtali, and from the half tribe of Menashe in Bashan. And I need to speak this one because, if I not do it, I'm not going to continue. I'm not going to be able to continue reading. I just saw something that I didn't see before. Yes, I was reading. And this is a beautiful picture that is speaking to you and is speaking to me. We see that the Levites, as I said a minute ago, they didn't receive any inheritance. And the word dispersed among the different places where the children of Israel were receiving inheritance. They were among the different children of Israel. And this is exactly what's happening with you, and it's happening with me in these days. Yahuwah decided to disperse his children in the different corners of the earth. We are in the four corners of the earth. And in the same way that the priests and the Levites didn't receive a specific inheritance of land, they were among the different places where the children of Israel were living. With what purpose? In order to guide the children of Israel in the true way of Yahuwah. Because that was the reason. They were living among them in order to serve as a light in the middle of them, in order to guide them in the way of Yahuwah. It's exactly what's happening with you, and it's happening with me. If we are going to be serving as priest and king together with Yahushua HaMashiach, we are going through a training in these days. We are understanding and learning His word, but not only understanding and learning His word. We are among people on this earth. We are among different children of Yahuwah. And we are among people that are not part of the children of Israel. But in the same way that Yahushua HaMashiach gave us the instruction in order to go and preach and be witness of the good news of the kingdom of Yahuwah, is exactly how the Levites and the priests were doing here. You and me has the same purpose, in order to bring the truth and the light of Yahuwah everywhere we are. And this is an amazing picture and parallel that I haven't seen it before, that is reinforcing the idea and reinforcing the concept and the truth about what is your real purpose and what is my real purpose. Maybe we don't have an inheritance yet. We are waiting for that inheritance in the same way that the priests and Levites are waiting for the inheritance in this portion of the land in the future. We are waiting for that amazing inheritance that is coming by the hand of Yahushua HaMashiach. But while we are waiting for that inheritance, we are living among the others. With what purpose? In order to be light, in order to help others to go through the way of Yahuwah. So, this is reinforcing the idea to me more than ever now, is that though that we are going to continue understanding, though that we are going to continue learning until the end of our days, the word of Yahuwah, because it's going to be impossible in this flesh to understand everything. I do believe that it's by the word and the mouth of Yahushua HaMashiach is when we are going to be able to understand everything. And that time will come when he's coming back and establishing the kingdom of Yahuwah. But so we're going to continue learning day by day. But it's not only learning. We need to bring this light and to fulfill our purpose. Because if we do this parallel with the priests and the Levites, that they were receiving these cities in order to live among the children of Israel, is exactly what is happening to us today. Think on that and pray on that, because it's an amazing parallel. Let's continue reading in the verse 6. And the children of Gershon had 13 cities by lot from the clans of the tribe of Issachar, from the tribe of Asher, from the tribe of Naphtali, and from the half-tribe of Manasseh in Bashan. The children of Merari, for their clans, had 12 cities from the tribe of Reuben, and from the tribe of Gad, and from the tribe of Zebulun. Thus the children of Israel gave these cities with their open land by lot to the Levites, as Yahuwah had commanded by the hand of Moshe. So they received these cities among everybody. They received these cities among all the tribes of Israel. And we know the tribes of Israel are in the four corners of the earth. We are part of the tribes of Israel. We are part of the children of Israel. We are part of the children of Elohim. We need to fulfill our purpose. Today, more than ever, is much needed. We need to do it. And you will find the spaces, it's not that you are going to wherever you want to go. If you do that, is basically you are going to do your will. You need to wait on Yahuwah. Yahuwah will guide you in what you need to do, when you need to do, how you need to do it. That's the way he was guiding all the prophets in the past. That's the way he was guiding the disciples of Mashiach. Yahuwah will guide you and me in the same way. We just need to wait for him patiently and to be ready for that moment in order to let him guide us and to speak the truth. So let's continue reading the verse 9. So from the tribe of the children of Yehudah and from the tribe of the children of Shimon, they gave these cities which are mentioned by name. And they were for the children of Aharon, one of the clans of the Kehatites, who were of the children of Levi, or Levi, for the lot was theirs first. And they gave them Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron. Arba was the father of Anak, in the mountains of Yehudah, with the open land surrounding it. And the fields of the city and its villages they gave to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, as his possession. But to the children of Aaron, the priest, they gave Hebron with its open land, a city of refuge for the manslayer, and Libnah with its open land. So we see, we were studying about Caleb and how he was claiming his possession because he received a promise from Yahuwah through Moses. And we see here, the importance of the decision and the promise of Yahuwah to his priest, that even though Caleb received Hebron as an inheritance, Hebron as a city, as a stronghold, was given as one of the cities for the Kehatites, the Levites, and not specifically to the Kehatites, the Levites, specifically to the priests. And this is something that I didn't understood in the past, and I saw it more clearly today, that there were specific cities for the priests and other cities for the Levites, because no matter the priests were Levites, the priest specifically, the Kehunah, the priesthood, was given to Aaron and his descendants. And and the Levites, their brothers and cousins, were serving Aaron, serving the priest in the service to Yahuwah. So in this case, Hebron, this was an important city. We were studying about this in a few weeks ago. Hebron was an important city in the time of Abraham. Was an important city in the time of David. Hebron was given to the priest. And even now that connecting all the dots and the Ruach is speaking, while I'm sharing with you, we can see, understanding that Hebron was a city given to the priests. And if we go further in the word of Yahuwah to the book of Samuel, and we were reading, I think, 2 weeks ago, that David was having his kingdom in Hebron for 7 years. He was king over the house of Yehudah from Hebron. Can you see the connection? Hebron was a city for the priest, but also the king was living there. So the connection and the picture of David having his kingdom and his headquarters in the same city of the priest, we see the picture of a king and a priest in one person. And this is speaking a lot about the picture and the message and the person of Yahushua HaMashiach as our king and also as our priest. And also the connection about Jerusalem. But I'm not going to go into that because we can speak a lot about that. I'm not prepared for that topic today. But it's beautiful to see all these connections, understanding, that in this case, this city was given to the priest, and how this is connected to David, and also how it's connected to Yahushua himself. So let's continue reading. A city of refuge for the manslayer, and Libnah with its open land, and Yatir with its open land, and Eshtemoa with its open land, and Holon with its open land, and Debir with its open land, and Ayin with its open land, and Utah with its open land, and Beit Shemesh with its open land. 9 cities from those 2 tribes. And from the tribe of Benjamin, Givon with its open land, Geba with its open land, and Atoth with its open land, and Almon with its open land, 4 cities. All the cities of the children of Aaron, the priests, were 13 cities with their open land. So just reading this, we understand that from the Kehatites, and we know that there were 3 children of Levite, was the Kehath, Merari, and Gershon. And he is just describing the inheritance and the cities that they received for the tribe of Kehath. But out of all the cities, there were 13 cities that were given directly to the priest, as it is written here. So all the cities that we were reading before were cities given to the priest. All the cities of the children of Aaron, the priest, were 13 cities with their open lands. So there are 10 more cities given to the tribe of Kehath that are given to the Levites, not to the priest. Let's continue reading. And the clans of the children of Kehath, the Levites, the rest of the children of Kehath, even they had the cities of their lot from the tribes of Ephraim. And they gave them Shechem with its open land in the mountains of Ephraim, as a city of refuge for the manslayer, and Geser with its open land, and Kibtzayim with its open land, and Beihoron with its open land, 4 cities. And from the tribe of Dan, El Teke with its open land, Gibeton with its open land, Ayalon with its open land, and Gad Rimon with its open land, 4 cities. And from the half tribe of Menashe, Tanach with its open land, and Gad Rimon with its open land, 2 cities. All the 10 cities with their open lands were for the rest of the clans of the children of Kehath. So all in all, the children of Kehath received 23 cities. 13 of them were specifically for the priest, and 10 cities were for the Levites. And there's a common thing here. It's happening regarding the cities, but I'm gonna keep it to the end of this passage, because I do believe that it's connected to something that we were sharing last week, and somehow it's connected to what I was telling you a few minutes ago. But let's continue. I will keep it to the end. So let's continue reading the verse 27. And to the children of Gershon, of the clans of the Levites, from the other half tribe of Menashe, they gave Golan in Bashan with its open land as a city of refuge for the manslayer, and Beesh Terath with its open land to cities. And from the tribe of Yisachar, Kishion with its open land, Daberath with its open land, Yarmut with its open land, and Enganim with its open land, 4 cities. And from the tribe of Asher, Mishal with its open land, Abdon with its open land, Helkat with its open land, Rehob with its open land, 4 cities. And from the tribe of Naphtali, Kedesh in Galil with its open land as a city of refuge for the manslayer, and Hamodor with its open land, and Kartan with its open land, 3 cities. All the cities of the Gershonites, for their clans, were 13 cities with their open land. And to the clans of the children of Merari, the rest of the Levites from the tribe of Zebulun, Jokneam with its open land, Karta with its open land, Timnah with its open land, Nahalal with its open land, 4 cities. And from the tribe of Reuben, Betzer with its open land, Yatzah with its open land, Kedemoth with its open land, and Pephaad with its open land, 4 cities. And from the tribe of Gad, Ramoth in Gilad with its open land as a city of refuge for the manslayer, and Mahanaim with its open land, Heshbon with its open land, Yaser with its open land, 4 cities in all. All the cities of the children of Merari for their clans, the rest of the clans of the Levites, were by their lot 12 cities. So, we see that they received the promise. They received the cities, no matter they didn't have an inheritance of land. They received the cities with this amazing picture that now I see and you see, is that they were among the children of Israel. They were the gatekeeper of Torah. They were the one leading the service and the worship for Yahuwah Eloheinu. And the only fact that they were in the midst of each one of the tribes, in my heart were serving the purpose of keeping the children of Israel on the way of Yahuwah. And what's the common denominator that I see here? And I think this is having a prophetic implication. If we go, and I have my note here, if we go to the verse 13 here, the one we just read, it says the following: But to the children of Aaron the priest they gave Hebron with its open land as a city of refuge for the manslayer. If we go to the verse 21, we see that they gave them Shechem with its open land in the mountains of Ephraim as a city of refuge for the manslayer. If we go to the verse 27, the same. They gave Golan in Bashan with its open land as a city of refuge for the manslayer. If we go to the verse 32, the same. Kedesh in Galil with its open land as a city of refuge for the manslayer. And the verse 38, Ramoth in Gilad with its open land as a city of refuge for the manslayer. So it is interesting and amazing to see that, the city of refuge were given or the priest or the Levites. And, I was sharing my heart with you last week that it's my belief that it's in the same way that Goshen existed in the midst of Egypt, Israel. And in that place, his people were protected from the plagues. And now we are in the 4 corners of the earth. I do believe that he will have these cities of refuge or places of refuge for the last days. And it is amazing to see, connected to what I said, a few minutes ago, that Yahuwah decided to put his priests and his Levites among the children of Israel. Could it be that maybe the purpose that you and me have been awakened to the truth of the way of Yahuwah will serve that purpose as well? As I said before, as the priests and the Levites were put among the children of Israel in order to keep the children of Israel on the way of Yahuwah, that we are serving that purpose too in these days. And in the same way that the priests and the Levites were, he was setting up cities of refuge in order to protect the manslayer. That could it be that in these end times, that maybe those places of refuge is where you and me are going to be leading people in order to be protected by the hand of Yahuwah. It's something to think about, it's something to pray about. But there's no coincidence in the scripture. And everything that happened in the past will happen in the future, and it's happening in these times. And Yahuwah has intended in the past, in order to protect his people in some way, he will do exactly the same in these times. So something to think about and pray about it. But the way that is finishing this chapter is really amazing. And it's something that should bring hope to our hearts. And let's read it together, because it says something very beautiful. It's in the verse 41 onward. It says the following: all the cities of the Levites within the possession of the children of Israel were 48 cities with their open lands. Each of the cities had its open land surrounding it. So it was with all the cities. And let's read what is said in the verse 43. Thus Yahuwah gave to Israel all the land of which he had sworn to give to their fathers, and they took possession of it and dwell in it. Yahuwah gave to Israel all the land of which he had sworn to give to their fathers, and they took possession of it and dwell in it. And let's read the 45, because it said, not a word failed of any word which Yahuwah had spoken to the house of Israel, all came in. And what happened with the story, the history of Israel later on, that they departed from the way of Yahuwah, and many things happened. But the only fact that it is written here that they received the inheritance, because it is true. Every time that we are on the side of Yahuwah, we are going to receive his blessings, as it is written in Torah. Every time that we are following the step of Mashiach, who is leading us in the way of Yahuwah, we are going to receive the blessings of Yahuwah and the inheritance and the promises of Yahuwah. Every time that we depart from the way of Yahuwah, we are going to receive the curses, and we are not going to receive the promises. So, I think for all of us, we have decided to believe in his word and to take the hand of Yahushua HaMashiach by seeing these examples that Yahuwah promised them the inheritance and they receive it. It's something that should bring hope to our hearts, that we serve exactly the same Elohim. And if Yahuwah Elohim delivered what he committed to do on those times, he will repeat it once again with all of us in these times. All the promises he has given us through his servants, the prophets, through Yahushua HaMashiach, our Melech, our King, he will fulfill it, because he's faithful. We served a faithful Elohim, and he is true. In him is truth. So only that should give us hope to what is coming, if we put our eyes on him and in his promises. And when I was thinking on this particular passage, was looking for some promises, and I found a very beautiful one that I want to share with you. That is in the book of Yirmiyahu. Let's go there. Chapter 29. We're going to read from verse 10 to verse 14. And, no matter that somehow when we read this, we can understand that this promise was given to the house of Yehuda at the moment of the exile to Babylon, to Babel. When we read between the lines, and especially in few passages, we understand that this promise is not only for them. In the way that it's written, it's also for the entire house of Israel, the two houses. Meaning that that promise is for you and for me, even to these days. So let's read it together because somehow it's connected and totally related to what we just read in the portion of Joshua. So let's start in the verse 10. It says the following. For thus said Yahuwah, when 70 years are completed at Babel, I shall visit you and establish my good word toward you, to bring you back to this place. And remember that Daniel received interpretation of the 70 weeks and the 70 years. So this is totally connected to these end times. So when 70 years are completed at Babel, I shall visit you and establish my good word toward you, to bring you back to this place. For I know the plans I am planning for you, declares Yahuwah, plans of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and an expectancy. Let me read again because this is so beautiful. I know the plans I'm planning for you, declares Yahuwah, plans of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and an expectancy. Even in these times that we see no hope in the world, because this is exactly what's going on. You talk to people, you see behavior. Everybody's without hope. We have an amazing Elohim, that what he is promising is exactly that, is hope, future, and an expectancy. He's promising hope. Then you shall call on me, and shall come and pray to me, and I shall listen to you. And you shall seek me, and shall find me, when you search for me with all your heart. And I shall be found by you, declares Yahuwah. And I shall turn back your captivity, and shall gather you from all the nations, and from all the places where I have driven you, declares Yahuwah. And I shall bring you back to the place from which I have exiled you. This is an amazing promise, and it shows the heart of Yahuwah. So exactly on that is what we need to put our focus. In the same way that Yahuwah promised something to Abraham, and he delivered his promises to Israel. And we just read in the book of Joshua, they received the inheritance. They received the land. They conquered the land. We see exactly the same here. A promise for you and for me, that we will receive that inheritance. He will gather us from all the four corners of the earth. So we need to put the focus on there. No matter that we are going through these emotional situations time to time, we need to understand that we belong to Yahuwah, and those promises are for us. And this is exactly where we need to put our focus on. So let's go back to the book of Joshua, chapter 21, because I skipped in purpose one passage, because I want to go a little bit deeper on this, and it's totally connected to what I was just saying. I'm referring to the verse 44. And it says the following. And Yahuwah gave them rest all around, according to all that he had sworn to their fathers. And not a man of all their enemies stood against them. Yahuwah gave all their enemies into their hand. So beside acknowledging that they received the inheritance and the possession and the promises from Yahuwah, that not a word failed of any blessing or good word that Yahuwah promised to them, it's also saying that they received and Yahuwah gave them rest. That their enemies couldn't stand against them. That's part of the promise. So, why I stop here a bit, because, and I made this comment here at home, that it's a little bit difficult to understand this, because it says that Yahuwah gave them rest all around, but later on in the future we understand that they were not at rest. They were fighting. When we are going through the book of Shoftim, Judges, we will see that they were fighting time to time. So what it means that he gave them rest. And I think this is important. And my wife made this comment. I think she's totally right on this, is that every time that we are beside Yahuwah, we are going to have that shalom. If we depart from Yahuwah, we're going to lose that shalom. So Israel, and we will see in the future, they decided to go astray. Every time that we are going astray, Yahuwah is not with us. His presence is not in the middle of sin. That's impossible. And if his presence is not with us, we are not going to be in shalom. But there is an amazing promise once again. No matter that Yahuwah gave them rest all around back then, but they decided to go astray, there is an additional blessing. And this is written in the book of Hebrews. That is talking about this in the book of Ivrim, chapter 4. And we're going to read it together, because this is exactly speaking about the rest, the promise of shalom, of the Shabbat, this eternal Shabbat during his kingdom. So it's important because, again, he's faithful to his promises. He's faithful to his promises. And if he was faithful to the promises and he delivered the promises in the past, he will do it again with us. So let's read it together. It says, starting in the verse 1, "Therefore, since a promise remains of entering into his rest." So he's saying a promise remains of entering into his rest. "Let us fear lest any of you seem to have come short of it. For indeed the good news was brought to us as well as to them. But the word which they heard did not profit them, not having been mixed with belief in those who heard it." And we see the importance of belief. And we have been speaking about this previously, about belief, emunah, faith, and works that needs to be together in order to be completed. For we who have believed do enter into that rest, as he has said, "As I swore in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest." And yet his works have come into being from the foundation of the world. For somewhere he has said thus about the seventh day, "And Elohim rested on the seventh day from all his works." And in this again, "if they shall enter into my rest," since that it remains for some to enter into it, and those who formerly received the good news did not enter in because of disobedience. He again defines a certain day, today. Same through David, so much later, as it has been said, "Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts." For if Yahushua, referring to Joshua ben Nun, had given them rest, he would not have spoken of another day after that. So there remains a Shabbat keeping for the people of Elohim. For the one, having entered into his rest, has himself also rested from his works, as Elohim rested from his own. Let us therefore do our utmost to enter into that rest, lest anyone fall after the same example of disobedience. So I'm going to keep it until there. You can continue reading it later on. There is this amazing promise that we know as part of what Yahushua HaMashiach will do by establishing the kingdom of heaven here on earth. He is going to kick off the millennial kingdom of Yahuwah here on earth. And that's going to be the final rest that we are waiting for. This is going to be the Shabbat keeping day that we are waiting for. Is going to be the moment when we are going to receive the rest in the same way that they receive and Yahuwah gave them rest from all the people around them. This is exactly the moment that we're waiting for. And you know, every Shabbat that we are keeping, honoring Yahuwah by demonstrating to Him that we love Him by keeping His commandments, is a foreshadow of that time. And you know, this is something that I don't think all the time, and I think we should do. Every time that we are keeping Shabbat, we should think that this is a foreshadow of that rest, of that Shabbaton that we are going to have during that kingdom. This needs to be in our mind. And this is what needs to be in front of us every time that we are lose heart, that kingdom is coming. And that rest, that final rest is coming. So, you know, He will continue being faithful to His words. And that needs to be our hope. So let's go back to the book of Joshua and let's read the next chapter, the chapter 22. And here we see amazing things, you know. And I always remember this story and I really love it because it shows what needs to be in our hearts as well. And it's a story of the 2.5 tribes that they needed to leave everything else in order to go and help their brothers, and they did it. And that needs to be our attitude, you know, and they stood with them until the end, until all of them received their inheritance in order to be faithful to the promise they made. You know, and that's speaking a lot about what is written in the chapter the 30th, I think, of the book of the Midbar, Numbers, about that we need to be faithful to everything that is going out of our mouth. Everything that we say, everything that we committed to do, we have to do it. So let's read it together because it's an amazing story, and I will share with you some of the points that I saw. So starting in the verse 1 of the chapter 22, it says, Then Yahushua called for the Reubenites and the Gadites and half the tribe of Manasseh, and said to them, You have guarded all that Moshe, the servant of Yahuwah, commanded you, and have obeyed my voice in all that I commanded you. You have not left your brothers these many days, up to this day, but have guarded the charge, the command of Yahuwah your Elohim. And now, Yahuwah your Elohim has given rest to your brothers, as he promised them. So now, return and go to your tents, and to the land of your possession, which Moshe, the servant of Yahuwah, gave you beyond the Jordan. Only diligently guard to do the commands and the Torah, which Moshe, the servant of Yahuwah, commanded you, to love Yahuwah your Elohim, and to walk in all his ways, and to guard his commands, and to cling to him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your being. So we see, you know, this amazing picture, and that's, as I told you, this needs to be our attitude. If we promise something to Yahuwah, we need to endure until the end. You know, it is written, those that endure until the end will be saved. So we see exactly how it works here. They endure with their promises until the end. And because they endured until the end, they received their promise that they were able to go back to their inheritance. Because, you know, they have that love for their brothers, that they were leaving everything else behind in order to go and help them to receive their inheritance. And you know, I think this is also foreshadow a picture for all of us. You will see it in a moment. Let's continue reading because I think it's connected. It's totally connected to what I just said about the priest being among the children of Israel. about what was the purpose of them being among the children of Israel. And I see something very similar here, but let's continue reading. And Yahushua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their tents. And to half the tribe of Menashe, Moshe had given a possession in Bashan, but to the other half of it, Yahushua gave land among their brothers beyond the Jordan, westward. So when Yahushua sent them away to their tents, he also blessed them, and spoke to them, saying, Return to your tents with great riches, and with very much livestock, and with silver, and with gold, and with bronze, and with iron, and with countless garments. Divide the spoil of your enemies with your brothers. When I saw this, I remembered the blessings over Israel when they left Mizraim, Egypt. They also left Mizraim with all these blessings from Yahuwah. And in the same way that we see they receive all this blessing because they were faithful to the promise they made to Yahuwah. And it's exactly, what needs to be in our mind. Yahushua said that we need to make treasures on heaven and not on earth. And by saying that is exactly what he see here in this picture. How we're going to make treasures in heaven, in the coming kingdom of Yahuwah, by following his ways. And by following his ways, we are going to receive all the blessings. And at the moment, we are going to receive the inheritance. In the same way that we see these 2.5 tribes receiving all these blessings because they were enduring until the end with what they committed to do. So let's continue in the verse 9. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and half the tribe of Menashe returned and left the children of Israel at Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the land of Gilad, to the land of their possession, which they possessed according to the mouth of Yahuwah by the hand of Moshe. And they came to the districts of the Jordan, which is in the land of Canaan. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and half the tribe of Menashe built a slaughter place there by the Jordan, a great conspicuous slaughter place. And the children of Israel heard it, said, See, the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and half the tribe of Menashe have built a slaughter place opposite the land of Canaan, in the districts of the Jordan, at the border of the children of Israel. And when the children of Israel heard, all the congregation of the children of Israel assembled at Shiloh to go to fight against them. Can you imagine, this picture? And for me, it's difficult to see it, but it shows the fear to Yahuwah, and not only the fear, is the love, and how jealous they were for the way of Yahuwah. That even though that they had these 2.5 tribes of their brothers, that they were helping them along the way in order to receive their inheritance, when they heard and they understood that they were departing from the way of Yahuwah, they were going to fight against them. And the reason, they are explaining later on in this passage, the reason that they were going to fight against them. And this is something that is speaking to you and speaking to me, the reason why they did it. But one of the reasons that we can see here is that Joshua commanded them not to deviate from the way of Yahuwah a few verses ago. And they hearing that, the first thing they did is to do something that is not right, to do this trespass, to commit this sin. And they were going to fight in order to keep the truth of the way of Yahuwah, even to his brothers. So let's continue reading. So the children of Israel sent Pinchas, son of Eleazar, the priest, to the children of Reuben and to the children of Gad, and to have the tribe of Menashe into the land of Gilad, and 10 rulers with him, 1 ruler each from the chief house of every tribe of Israel, and each one was the head of the house of his father among the division of Israel. And they came to the children of Reuben and to the children of Gad and to half the tribe of Menashe to the land of Gilad, and spoke with them, saying, Thus says all the congregation of Yahuwah, What is this trespass you have committed against the Elohim of Israel to turn away this day from following Yahuwah, in that you have built for yourself a slaughter place to rebel against Yahuwah this day? So, they were complaining to them. What are you doing? Why are you trespassing and committing this trespass, this sin against Yahuwah? And to turn away from following him. And they are starting to remember what they did in the past. Let's continue reading. Is the crookedness of Peor not enough for us, from which we have not been cleansed till this day? Although there was a plague in the congregation of Yahuwah, that you turn away today from following Yahuwah? And it shall be, if you rebel today against Yahuwah, that tomorrow his wrath with all the congregation of Israel. And that's one of the important points. And we go back when one of them were failing. Plague came among all the children of Israel until they have forgiveness. So that speaks a lot to me about what it means to be echad, what it means to work as a body. If we see one part of the body failing, we need to do everything in our hands in order to make that part of the body that is failing to work well again. And that's why Yahushua was speaking about, removing one hand is leading us to Gehenna, to hell. Because exactly the same is to remove sin from the body. But in this case, they were starting to discuss with them in order to understand what's going on. And this is speaking also about how Yahushua is telling us and teaching us how we need to treat these kind of things. If a brother is sinning against us, we need to go and we need to talk to the brother. And we need to tell him or tell her what he or she is doing. And we need to commit them on that what they are doing is not right. And the second step is the person is not listening. This is written in the book of Matthew. I don't remember the chapter by heart. But if they are not listening, we need to go with 2 or 3 witnesses. And if it's not listening, we need to talk about it in front of the assembly. So there is a process, and we see this process going on. They were preparing themselves to fight against them, but they sent one priest and they sent witnesses in order to understand what's going on. In order to convict them that what they were doing was wrong according to their eyes. Can you imagine that they were going to fight immediately without understanding what was happening? So let's continue reading, because this is one of the first purposes, and this is exactly what we need to do. If we are going to bring light into this world, this is exactly the way that we need to do it, is to bring the truth of the light of the word of Yahuwah. In the same way that they were bringing, they thought that they were doing wrong because they knew the reason behind, and they were bringing the light, letting them know, why are you departing for following Yahuwah? And we see a brother that is going astray. This is exactly what we need to do. We need to help them to go back to the way of Yahuwah by shining the light of Yahuwah. And we know that we can do everything in our hands, and we have to do it. But at the end, it's Yahuwah through the Ruach, the one is going to be convicting directly to those people in their hearts. But if we don't do it and we don't try, nothing will happen. In the same way that we were discussing last week about these examples of Moses, that they needed to do the work, they needed to do the action in order for things to happen. So let's continue reading. Verse 19. And indeed, if the land of your possession is unclean, then pass over to the land of the possession of Yahuwah, where the dwelling place of Yahuwah dwells, and take possession among us. But do not rebel against Yahuwah, nor rebel against us, by building yourself a slaughter place besides the slaughter place of Yahuwah our Elohim. Did not Achan, son of Zerach, commit a trespass in that which is under the ban? And wrath fell on all the congregation of Israel, and he was not the only one to die in his crookedness. Then the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and half the tribe of Manasseh answered and said to the heads of the division of Israel, El Elohim Yahuwah, El Elohim Yahuwah, He knows, and let Israel itself know if this has been in rebellion, or if in trespass against Yahuwah. Do not save us this day. If we have built ourselves a slaughter place to turn from following Yahuwah, or if to offer ascending offerings or grain offerings on it, or if to make a slaughtering of peace offerings on it, let Yahuwah himself require it. But truly, from fear, for a reason we did this, saying, in time to come, your sons might speak to our sons, saying, what have you to do with Yahuwah Elohim of Israel? For Yahuwah has made the Jordan a border between you and us. You children of Reuben and children of Gad, you have no portion with Yahuwah. So your sons would make our sons stop feeding Yahuwah. So we said, let us now prepare to build ourselves a slaughter place, not for a sending offering, not for a slaughtering, but to be a witness between you and us, and our generations after us, to do the service of Yahuwah before him, with our ascending offerings, with our slaughtering, and with our peace offerings, that your sons should not say to our sons in time to come, you have no portion with Yahuwah. So we said that it shall be, when they say this to us or to our generation in time to come, that we shall say, see, the pattern of the slaughter place of Yahuwah, which our fathers made, though not for ascending offerings, nor for a slaughtering, but it is a witness between you and us. Far be it from us to rebel against Yahuwah, and to turn from following Yahuwah this day, to build a slaughter place for ascending offering, for grain offerings, and for slaughterings, beside the slaughter place of Yahuwah, our Elohim, which is before his dwelling place. You know, this is similar, and this is beautiful at the same time, to what we're talking of Elijah. When I was telling you that Elijah was opening his heart in order to tell Yahuwah what was in his heart, they were doing exactly the same with their brothers. They were speaking their heart. We did this because of this. And you know, it's so beautiful to understand that they did it because of their love of Yahuwah. They were thinking even in the coming generations, how they were going to help the coming generations to continue in the way of Yahuwah, to continue following Yahuwah. And this speaks a lot of what needs to be our attitude. We need to fear Yahuwah. We need to follow his commandments. We need to follow his Torah. We need to follow the step of Yahushua HaMashiach, no matter what's going on. But it's also a foreshadow of something so beautiful, even more beautiful, is that they put themselves this witness in order for the generations to come to understand that they were part of the kingdom of Yahuwah. And you know, there are so many examples that I see this happening, and I do believe in these days we will see this happening again. It is written that Yahushua, by his offering, he destroyed the barrier between the two houses. And you know, we have this amazing story in the book of Acts, when Peter received this vision about the animals, the clean and the clean animals that he needed to eat, according to the instruction he was receiving. And he knew that he couldn't do it because it's not following Torah, eating unclean animals. But what's the reason that Yahuwah gave this vision to Peter, to Kepha? It was in order to break this barrier. You know, that in this case was saying, you know, the Jordan was the natural border. So you don't belong to us. You are part of the different nations. Why you want to come to us? In this case was the barrier of the dogmas and the traditions of men, that they were not letting the people, in this case the Gentiles and the tribes of the house of Israel, to come back to be part of the children of Israel, to the commonwealth of Israel. And in this case, they build this witness, not to depart from the way of Yahuwah, just to serve as a witness, in order to show them that they were part and they belonged to the same nation, to the same Elohim. And the same is happening to us. We know that throughout history, starting from the book of Acts, that Peter didn't want to go into the house of the Gentiles in order to bring the good news. And has been happening throughout the years between the separation between the two houses that are still separated. And they are going through the process of being united again in the hand of Yahushua. That in one day, both houses will be united again. Because we have one witness. In the same way that they built this slaughter place to be a witness, we have one witness. And who is that witness? I'm going to read it for you. In the book of Revelation, chapter 4 and verse 5. Yehohanan to the 7 assemblies that are in Asia. Favor to you and peace from him who is and who was and who is coming, and from the 7 Ruachot, the 7 spirits that are before his throne, and from Yahushua Mashiach, the trustworthy witness, the first from the dead, and the ruler of the sovereigns of the earth, to him who loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood. He is the witness. He is our witness, that we can trust that through that witness we belong to Yahuwah and we belong to the children of Elohim. That's the parallel that I see, and the beautiful parallel that I see in this picture. They did it because of love, because of fear, in order to have this witness that they belong to the children of Israel. And we have this amazing witness, Yahushua HaMashiach, the one that is opening the door to all of us in order to come back to the Father, in order to understand that we are part of the commonwealth of Israel, that we are Israel together with them. And we are waiting for the day that this truthful and faithful witness is going to join them, join the two houses once again together. And not only that, it's not only for us, it's only for him. They were fearful that they were not going to recognize them as part of Israel. And we know that the house of Yehuda, not all the house of Yehuda until this day, have not recognized Mashiach, Yahushua as the Mashiach. But we know that day will come. And there are many stories I have in my notes here. Also in the story of Joseph. Joseph were not recognized by his brothers until the end, until he showed himself and he let them know, I am your brothers. And they recognize him. So the same will happen with Mashiach, with the witness. And I want to share this passage with you because, it's very beautiful. But, before that, for one reason, it is written in the book of Revelation, the following in verse 17. And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and who went to fight with the remnant of her seed, those guarding the command of Elohim and possessing the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. Yahushua, we need to keep his witness, because through his witness, we are part of the commonwealth of Israel. So let's go to read the book of Zechariah. This is Zechariah, chapter 12. We're going to start reading from verse 10 to chapter 13, verse 2. And it says the following. And I shall pour on the house of David and on the inhabitants of Jerusalem a ruach of favor and prayers, and they shall look on me, whom they pierced, and they shall mourn. for him as one mourns for his only son, and they shall be in bitterness over him as a bitterness over the firstborn. In that day the mourning in Jerusalem is going to be great, like the mourning in Hadad Rimon in the valley of Megiddo. And the land shall mourn, every clan by itself, the clan of the house of David by itself, and their women by themselves, the clan of the house of Nathan by itself, and their women by themselves, the clan of the house of Levi by itself, and their women by themselves, the clan of Shimei by itself, and their women by themselves, all the rest of the clans, every clan by itself, and their women by themselves. In that day, a fountain shall be opened for the house of David and for the inhabitants of Jerusalem, for sin and for uncleanness. And it shall be in that day, declares Yahuwah Sebaot, that I cut off the names of the idols from the earth, and they shall be remembered no more. And I shall also remove the prophets and the unclean spirit from the earth. You remember that we were talking about unclean spirits that are on the earth today? And we were talking about this portion, how we see that the 2.5 tribes were setting this witness in order to show that they were part of the children of Israel. And we see that even our king, our Mashiach, has not been recognized yet, but all the tribes. But that day that we had just read is coming, that we, the entire house of Israel, is going to be joined together by the hand of Yahushua HaMashiach, as it is written in the prophecy of Ezekiel, of the 2 sticks. And we are going to be one people, one nation on Yahuwah. And that's exactly what's going to happen. We are going to be Ahad, as Camille is saying in the chat. We are going to be Ahad. And this is exactly what's going to happen. He is going to be cutting off the names of the idols and also removing the unclean spirit from the earth. That's going to be the time of restoration, the time of restoration that we are living today, the time of restoration that we're waiting for and where we put our hope on. So, I think that was my biggest point in the portion, when I saw this and remembering the story of the 2.5 tribes, because of the love they felt for their brothers and sisters and the love they felt for Yahuwah Elohim. This is exactly what we need to feel in these days of troubles. We need to keep, as I told you at the beginning, we need to keep the entire body of Mashiach in our prayers. We need to pray for one another. We need to pray for restoration. We need to pray for hope. We need to pray for strength. And we need to put our eyes in the promises of Yahuwah. So in the same way that they received the land and they received the rest, that we are going to receive our rest. That time that the 2 houses are going to look into the witness that has been said by Yahuwah Eloheinu, and that witness being Yahushua HaMashiach, in order to be Echad once again, in order to recognize Yahushua as the King. In that day, we need to put our hope and our eyes, so Yahushua will clean everything again on this earth. So, brothers and sisters, this is what I have to share with you today. It's been a long 2 hours. Interesting, We're always doing this in 2 hours, no matter that it's not that much preparation. But it's good. It's good that we have the chance to speak about the word of Yahuwah. It's good that we have this platform, still have this platform in order to share this time together. Let's keep this hope in our hands, in our minds, in our hearts. The hope of the kingdom of Yahuwah. This is what needs to be in our heart. And as I told you a few minutes ago, let's keep reminding ourselves every Shabbat that this day is a foreshadow of what is coming soon. This is a foreshadow for our coming rest, final rest, because this time is going to be final rest, because the righteous King is coming to the earth and is coming soon. We need to be prepared for that. We need to be praying. We need to be studying His Word. And most important than all, as we have been reading in this portion, we need to bring the light among the dispersion. We need to fulfill the purpose. We need to help our brothers and sisters as much as we need. We were reading last week what is written in the book of James about faith, that if somebody's in need, it's not only that we need to speak about the faith, we have the chance to help them. Let's do it with actions, because in that way we are going to fulfill the complete faith and belief and emunah. So this is the time to be together. This is the time to be ahad. This is the time to seek the face of Yahuwah, no matter the distance, no matter that we don't know each other face to face, no matter that maybe we are not going to meet each other until the second Exodus, or maybe in the kingdom, I don't know. But as we have been saying time to time, no matter that we don't know each other, we know each other in the Ruach. And we feel this, this amazing love for one another. This needs to be, our witness that we are the disciples of Yahushua, that we are Mishpacha, we are family. So let's keep everybody in our prayers. And, I hope to see you next week. This has been a wonderful study of the book of Joshua. And next week is going to be the last portion. I hope to have a surprise for you next week. So pray for that. I'm not going to let you know much more today, but pray for that maybe we can have a surprise next week. It's going to be a blessing to all of us. But if not, we will be here once again to study this portion and to see what the Yahuwah is bringing to the study to the end of the study of the book of Joshua. So once again, thank you so much. Many blessings to all of you. Thank you to be here with me. And we're going to finish this study as we always do with the Aaronic blessing. So let me put the song here with you, and many blessings to all of you in this Shabbat. See you next week. Yahuwah be with you all.
יברכך יחוה וישמרך, יאר יחוה פניו לך וחונקה, יישא יחוה פניו לך ויעשה לך שלום, יישא יחוה פניו לך ויעשה לך שלום, ויעשה לך שלום, ויעשה bless you and keep you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.
Yahuwah te bendiga y te guarde. Yahuwah haga resplandecer su rostro en ti y tenga de ti compasión. Yahuwah alce su rostro sobre ti